Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny.
Hey everyone, welcome on to Trackside with Kokpit, brought to you by TWS Technical Welding Services and Phase Engineering and Supplies Limited. Wednesday evening, 7:30, just clicked over 7:30. Someone's going to give us the update. There it is, 80 days until we're all sent to the Stewart's box. Thanks, Wayne Odden, Richard and Trudy Aldridge, Big Spraybook, who has jumped into Mike Harvey, and even Aaron Ferguson. Kinser Books here through to 8 o'clock. Hey, Books, how are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. We had a little bit of rain today, not like everyone else around the country. Seems to be getting worse and worse than what we get here in the Hawke's Bay. Like you said to me this morning, every time you watch the forecast, the sunny Hawke's Bay is always a sunny Hawke's Bay, mate. So, I can't complain too much. Let's just hope it stays like that when the season starts. So, because that's what we want. We want all this fine weather. So let's hope all this rain gets out of its system now before our season starts around the country and we can have nothing but sunny days and sunny speedway all through the year. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, sounds good. Sounds like I want to sing a song. That song that goes, sunny days. 80 days, where we get to, as people say, watch the action unfold around the oval circuits up and down the country. A lot of the calendars have been released. Not all tracks have released them. And there's a fair bit still going on in the moment behind the scenes to prepare for, obviously, some of the big events they want to host. But like you say, Mother Nature, let's hope she doesn't turn up and have a major effect like I'm guessing it did, especially in Wellington, mate. We're fully aware they had how many rainouts to start off, and a lot of tracks are hampered by that wet weather, books.
Oh, yeah. It's. I just hope everybody hasn't had too much damage and they can recover without too much cost, because that's another big thing, You don't, these tracks, some of these smaller tracks and whatever, they don't need that clean-up cost before the season starts, It just hinders everything. But if you live in a town where your track has been flooded, best thing you can do to support that track is on opening night, put your backside trackside and pack the house, mate, because that's the best way to help any track recover is sell out the stadium. Hey,
yeah, definitely,
and that's what we want to see all round. I mean, when I go to opening at Miami this season, I'm hoping that I have to fight for a seat. That's what I'm hoping for, because nothing like seeing a good crowd there, mate. And I'm sure you're the same when you go to your opening track this season or your first commentary session at Huntley. That you can't move for people. Wouldn't that be great if we could do that everywhere at opening night all around the country?
Yeah, definitely. Back at Huntley, opening night's going to be Guy Fawkes, so you pretty well nailed that on the head with the amount of people we can seem to get a full house at the local track down there. But yeah, looking forward to jumping back in the commentary box for another season. Big shout out to Toolshed. I see they've jumped on as the major sponsor of the Paradise Valley track in Vegas. So should be interesting to see how that develops over the next upcoming season. Barry Hunter, how are you? Dave Thomas, Henry Robin Ford, Darren Latwood, hey, how are you going? You and Rachel, Bailey, and even Richie's back in there.
I think it's great that they've got a new naming rights sponsor, but we can't forget how much TWS has done and supported all those years at Rotorua and the 240s, Even them themselves put up a post thanking his dad, I mean, the support that those guys give, well, Speedway in general, not even just Rotorua, just everybody, including us now. You just got to take your hat off to people like that stand behind, and I suppose the new guys move in and everybody's happy. But yeah, we still got to recognise those years of loyalty from other sponsors around, don't we?
Oh, definitely, 100%. A lot of these tracks can't operate without the volunteers. We've spoken to other track promoters over the recent weeks. We're still doing that journey. We actually head into the South Island now, and there's those volunteers. I remember we've spoken to promoters that said they've had 80 to 90 volunteers on any given night. So there's a lot of thank yous to be shared around, and that's the best thing you can do when the Speedway season comes around. Go and say thank you. Don't sit there and whinge and moan about something. maybe do something positive, become a volunteer, because a lot of tracks love to have more volunteers, more hands on the tracks and everything around that. Makes a lot of work. Should we get into it, books? Because we've got a few guests.
I just want to quickly say as well, if you are not doing anything on the 8th of August at 6 p.m. In Tauranga, you've got Todd Hemingway's fundraiser. Yep. We were going to try and go and live stream it, but it's just not in the budget for me to get there. And of course, the camper goes in to get its repairs tomorrow. So finally, but yeah, if you're not doing anything, I'm not sure where that was. Kins, you knew where that was. Wheels End Bar.
That's
Wheels
it.
End Bar in Tauranga. Go join them from 6 p.m. In trying to help Todd get over to the UK to race and represent New Zealand. There's so many of them going now. Jack Myers are going too now, I see, as well.
Yeah, got a cool T-shirt that's been released as well at the moment. Everyone's doing all sorts of merch, doing all sorts of exposure to get themselves out there, making sure that everyone jumps on board to support them, because financially it's not a cheap thing. We all know that. Scott Tennant's out there doing his little bit, Josh Prentice as well, and Todd Hemingway. Everyone's just out there doing theirs. Stacey, how are you? Stacey, Samantha, Kiss, how are things going? Johnson Watane's in there watching. Shall we get into it, mate, and head back to where we were about a month ago, I'm guessing, where we went up to the AGM
and back the awards.
Yeah, about like Back to the Future, eh?
Hey, we got Lani and Zoe. Hello, ladies.
Hey. Hi.
Lani, on top of a mountain. Are you skiing?
No, I couldn't ski to save my life, honestly. Really couldn't.
Oh, yeah. What's Everest look like from up top?
Everest, are you?
It's actually pretty cloudy where I am, so even when there was daylight, which has been gone now for a couple of hours, but when there was daylight, you still really couldn't see a lot, unfortunately.
Zoe, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Now, when we last caught up at the AGM and the awards night, you were a little under the weather, so you bounced back?
Yeah, no, good to go now. Good to go.
Eh? Just as bad as what we call man flu these days, eh? You know, it's just like that.
I don't know why people keep saying that, man flu. I don't like that saying.
Oh, mate, we talked about it today at council. You know, some of our councils couldn't make it because they had man flu. Let's get into this and go back to a month ago. Obviously, the big AGM, we had track representatives, drivers there as well. And how brilliant was that overall over the 2 days? Lani, firstly from you.
It was actually fantastic. It was really great. We had representation from all of the tracks, but unfortunately, Greymouth, who couldn't make it to be with us for AGM this year, but everyone else was there, and there was a huge amount of input from everyone. There was a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversation. So I think it was really positive, to be honest.
Lani, thank you for that update. But Zoe, you had a break. You've come back in. What's it been like, honestly?
Yeah, it's like baptism of fire, I reckon. But no, okay. Yeah, it's not been too bad, but yeah, definitely felt rusty at times. So yeah, but I think I'm getting there. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm getting there for sure. Trying.
Well, I tell you, Books and I had heard about AGMs in the previous past, and we rocked on up there, and thanks to you lovely ladies for asking us to come along to do part of that and be part of that. But we were looking for some fireworks and everything, Books? We were waiting for all the action to start.
I was waiting for the Shortland Street drama, but it didn't happen, which was good, though. I mean, I sort of made a comment, I think, Kins, as well, like I thought that, I asked a few people, is this what it's normally like? And I said, some years it can be blah, 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 and this and that. And I just said, do they think it was because there's a lot more confidence in this board, not putting down anyone else, but people feel comfortable with the board that's available to them now and moving forward. And some of them think, that positivity move forward would show through conference. So I think that's a really good thing. It means that everybody voted correctly for what they wanted and who they wanted, and they're very happy with the way it's moving forward. So my hat's off to the entire Speedway New Zealand board. Obviously it showed at conference time.
He'd pretty well be right there, Lani, wouldn't he?
I would hope so. I would hope that that's the case, and I imagine that we would be the first to know if there were issues.
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they definitely come forward and tell you.
It's honestly not hard to Google me and find my phone number if you really want to ring me and tell me how things are.
But that's how they
I'm
found
open to
Kins.
positive comments.
Oh, mate, that's how they find me. Trust me. They find me at this level and also at the bloody council level as well. I can't hide anywhere on social media.
No.
Zoe, though, you've stepped back into the GM job. Obviously, when we last caught up, I was on the seek.co.nz. What's the latest development on that? Is that still applications coming in at the moment, or is that closed, or where are we at with the GM job?
My understanding, and I'm not managing it, but my understanding, I think, is that application closes tomorrow, and so there'll be a review process after that, and then obviously the next steps of that process will kind of kick into play regarding interviews and shortlists and bits and pieces. So, yeah, my understanding is that's kind of underway now.
Oh, cool. So applications close tomorrow, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Have you got yours in books? Books, have you got yours in?
Yeah. I went in for Speedway New Zealand class clown. Or I could just be at the centre, but I got the centre part there, and I'm starting to go grey, so I'll be SNZ centre.
I'll run along next year. I'll be the Alf. I'll be the Alf. I'll ride in a push bike in an Alf suit. There we go. We're having fun.
We'll put you on a tricycle.
Yeah, I'll go and do something stupid like that. I'm not going to talk about roadshow because that might create something else for you and I. We spoke about it the last time we had these two ladies on. We'll get right into the biz side of things. The remits, I know you've been going through the great book we were given to us, like many others at the AGM book. So you want to start with, is it remit 28?
Well, no. We're going to start and talk about, because a lot of people are inquiring. I mean, obviously a lot of people know about it. It doesn't take long for what remits were going in and to get around the country and social media and the natter and the talking about everything. But I thought we'd start with the rotation process. So if one of you ladies or both ladies want to have a go at just explaining how that new rotation works, because a lot of people are confused by it and unsure by it. And I mean, just a sort of a layman's terms of how things work or are going to change, just something, a simple.
Okay, so we have pretty much been under rotation now for nearly 10 years with the championship rotation stuff. Like any system, they're never perfect because there's so many moving parts to this particular system as well, in regards to the amount of championships that are on rotation, tracks that qualify and don't qualify and stuff like that. So, and a lot of historical data that has to be considered. A couple of, probably 4 years ago now, the traffic light system around qualification kind of came into play, and then I guess 2 years ago there was kind of a requirement really for more work to be undertaken. So because what was happening is the way that the old rotation model kind of worked is that you could be a track and end up with 5 championships in one season, and that didn't work either. And just kind of how you shuffled those around and kind of sat out of those or passed those back was kind of a bit kind of messy. So my understanding last year, I think it was, that there was a subcommittee of the board put together as a requirement of the AGM, and they worked through some of those issues and have kind of presented, instead of having all the little moving cogs, so like the Island Championships and the Grand Prix used to operate on different cogs to the New Zealand title, which meant you'd get these clashes, we're effectively now kind of moving on one big kind of wheel, I guess. That's probably the best explanation I can give you on it. There's a lot of crazy science behind it and method behind the madness, but it seems to be the kind of the rules effectively at AGM for that is what passed. The work now is to rebuild that and everybody know where they're going to sit in line. So I think that will go to the board table that's out with the TAC group at the moment, which is the subcommittee. And then that will go to the board table on the 31st of this month. And then that will be for release early September to the tracks, I guess. So everyone will know where those championships are kind of for forward planning. And
I think some of the stuff on people's minds is some tracks that were probably due maybe next season and season after. Are they still going to be in that same rotation?
There's some
or does
stuff
that
that's
move?
already... Yeah, there's some stuff that's already locked in, obviously. So there is some kind of surety, which is why the timing for this to get this kind of this work undertaken was kind of quite urgent. because obviously, big championships take a fair lead time in planning, so the guys have done an amazing job on getting the rule set, and now it's just this kind of final set. And then, like I say, when that goes for release in kind of 4 weeks' time, she'll be good to go.
Awesome.
Mm,
I hope that clears that up for some people.
Yeah, and look, it's a moving thing, championship. So I kind of almost expect in 2 years' time there'll be another requirement for a tweak, because these are living, breathing events, and that it's a major part of the sport. Obviously at the AGM there was the discussion around how we kind of manage the stock car entries to the New Zealands.
Yes.
And the use of how those island titles or other titles could form part of that qualification, because the numbers are so great now. So again, know that whilst it's set, there's always that ongoing discussion around championships, because they're such a major part of the sport.
Yeah. 100%.
There you go, Bill. Hopefully they clarified some of that, and thanks for your comments for the update on the championship deal. On the actual website, Zoe, there's the part there you want to touch on too. It's a winner free license, TNCs apply. What we're talking about here is the saloon survey. What's the latest on that?
I don't think it's been any secret that the board have been trying to work quite hard to resolve some issues in the saloon car class. In order to do that, what they really do need is feedback from the stakeholders in that class. And so a survey has kind of went out in the newsletter back into last week. It'll go out into everybody's every saloon license holder's mailbox tomorrow. We've had a good uptake already. I looked at the numbers earlier, so we've had a good uptake on that. But we need their feedback, because the board have got a press with making really big decisions around that class in conjunction with a working group. So we need people to kind of get off their backside and fill it in, because otherwise you kind of don't complain later. Like you've really got to put your input forward. The board need that so they can make the best decisions for the class as a whole. So and obviously, yes, to try and incentivize people to do it, because that's always one of the challenges with a kind of stakeholder feedback process. There is a license up for grabs, so one will be drawn and someone will get a free license. So we really kind of want to get behind it, because the board need that information. Can't make good decisions without good information, so that's why they need the information.
You've got to have their feedback, their requirements, definitely 100% required. And hey, like you say, there's a free license up for grabs. So do jump on speedway.co.nz on the homepage. You'll see details there. Lani, also there is a fair bit going on at the AGM. I'll bring you in here. But how was it in just your perspective, your mindset sitting up the front there? Actually, you two ladies are both sitting there. But, there's a board of people that sit to your left-hand side. It was on our right-hand side. There's a group of people. There's directors there as well. But overall, I would guess feedback from promoters, their habit of difference with their actual driver representatives. It was really good to hear all that, and quite an eye-opener for Booker and I.
Yeah. If you've never been to one of those conferences or /AGMs before, it really is quite different to what a lot of people imagine that it's going to be. So there's a misconception that the board somehow is able to make rules and do things as it sees fit, which is, as you guys would have seen, absolutely not the case. We do have quite a democratic process where essentially the board has 0 votes on any of the remits. We are able to speak to them. We can move them if we wish to. But for the most part, there's really not a lot that we can do about whether they make it or they don't. So it's definitely an interesting environment.
We'll move back into these remits. So I'll talk to you about this one, Lani. So with the remit number, I've got my book here, everyone. See, look at this. This is how thick the book was. For me that struggles to read and concentrate, it was a big mish. Remit 28, which is around getting medical clearances, where before it was quite hard for people, because you always had to have a doctor, a practitioner, where now the remit was put forward to have a medical professional, doctor or nurse practitioner.
Yeah. So nurse practitioners have been accepted by ACC as being able to give clearances for things like that. So it's only natural that we would move in line with what is accepted as best practice within the I guess essentially the medical, we'll call it industry for lack of a better term. But it's only natural that we would move in line with them rather than allow ourselves to be stagnant where people are having to wait, sometimes in some places months to be able to see their GP for a consultation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a very, I was quite, when I first heard that remit come out, I thought this is a very, very smart move to make, because it does, I have seen it where it does restrict people from doing certain things, because I know it's hard to get that medical clearance for the following week, like if your team's racing or whatever, to move on to your next meeting. So they do struggle, and they might turn down a meeting because they want to do another meeting. With this being able, because it's a lot easier to get a nurse than it is to get a doctor, isn't it?
Well, for the most part, I mean, we do have the blessing of having a calendar that we can look at and say, okay, well, I've got a team's race meeting on this particular date. So that means that if I want to race in the following weekend at a championship or whatever it might be, I need to book that appointment with that doctor now. So that would be something that you would do essentially like right now, and book that for next, I don't know, February or whenever it might be. But the reality is that those nurse practitioners are able to step into that breach now, and if you get a rain out or there's something that happens, it means that it shifts that weekend to the next weekend and so on. It means your appointment that you've booked isn't going to work, and it allows a little bit more flexibility, and it works within the criteria that ACC have set down, and so we would be foolish not to follow what they've said as accepted practice.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome.
Okay. I just want to jump in there before we move to this next remit and just elaborate on the seriousness of concussion. We had a great presentation presented to us, and then we had a person in the crowd that stood up and spoke about his previous history and years, and he's still going through this. That kind of resonated with so many people. Now, I'm guessing this is going to put the onus back onto the individual, the driver, let alone their families. And I know Booker wants to add to this as well. The importance that each driver needs to get checked if they have an injury as such, because it can be long-term, and we don't want to see that in the sport.
Yeah, I think so. It's such a Kiwi thing though too, like, because I grew up riding horses, and that was my thing. So I was an equestrian, and we like, show me anyone who's ridden a horse that hasn't ended up with a concussion, like it's inherent in equestrian. It's everywhere. You can get a concussion doing gymnastics.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that came out of that essentially was knowing your own body and knowing how you're feeling and if you're okay or not, because and if you're not prepared to take responsibility for that, then having your crew, your family, the people who care for you step in and say, well, actually, we saw you get out of that car, or we've seen you in the days afterwards, and we're not sure that you're actually okay. So there is that whole kind of self-responsibility, and I guess team wrapping around, family wrapping around, and making sure that we're okay. It's
Okay.
I think that was very good. That when the man, when he stood up and talked about it, because he's having, you're talking 20 years later, he's having problems from that, concussions and stuff, and I think that resonates for people like, hey, hang on, it can happen this much later on. So it really sort of makes you think about really taking care of yourself. So that was good, I think.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too is that it's probably more acceptable now that it's okay to not be okay. Like, you're not going to get judged if you take some time out to make sure you are okay.
Yeah.
You'd probably be potentially judged harsher if you don't. I don't know. That's just my speculation. But I think it's okay now to take that time and make sure that you actually are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Was remit 42. These are everyone out there. I've just picked some random ones out of the book that I went through and just thought, these are quite good, And another thing is remit 82, which the change to the rule was cameras must be safely mounted in car, and footage cannot be distributed in the event of injury. SNZ reserves the right to any recorded footage at SNZ events. Now, I think that's quite good, because we have seen footage get leaked and people put stuff out there that really doesn't need to be out there in the case of injuries. So this, I don't think there was much fight back for that from memory when it went up as a remit. It went through pretty quick. But I just feel that that's a great change to the rule, where we need to sort of monitor a bit better because everyone's phones and there's so many in-car cameras everyone's got now and footage. I mean, we want to use it to help solve if there's a problem, not be out there for people's entertainment.
Yeah, we actually added an amendment to that particular remit. So we kind of improved it, I think, because we tidied up a lot of historic stuff around helmet cameras and bits and pieces.
Yes, that's right. Sorry. Yep,
they'd been kind of a bit of an unwritten rule, but they weren't really in there. So we were able to tidy that up, which was a real positive. But yeah, certainly that whole rule now as a kind of complete set is really tidy and just polishes kind of what's pretty much been unwritten rules for maybe the last decade, but it just is there black and white now. There's no arguing with a scrutineer or steward over a placement of a camera or bits and pieces. And we've had that provision around footage, but it certainly is just a lot cleaner now, I guess.
Yeah, I think there was a case for a few remits, wasn't it, where it was just a rule getting cleaned up and making it a lot more clearer for everybody to understand, and a lot of them on that.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of tidy ups. So all the stuff around the MyLaps, replacing the Dorian was all tidied up. The stuff around the app, replacing kind of, paper forms and stuff, that was a big tidy up. The Fidelity Fund, another tidy up. So there's a lot of remits there, which were really just kind of reflecting modern day and just reflecting the changes that the sport's seen in the last 10 years, I guess.
And another one that as soon as another remit that came up, as soon as it started to talk about, I my ears pricked up because it sort of related back to how my Miona team lost the Peterberries. So, it's, even though I didn't get to see it because I was on the rees tour. But anyway, the rule about where everyone sort of goes, oh, he went off, he didn't do a loop and blah, blah, blah. So now it's cleared up and it's stating that a vehicle is forced and spun or driven to the infield during a race, it must return to the racing surface. Now, in the previous bit, it was in the same straight or corner in which it left. But now that's been changed to no more than one corner or straight after its exit. And I think that's the case because you can be put in, smacked, but the momentum keeps you, but you're still pulling behind the car. But and I think that's just made a more common sense rule and remit that went through. What are our thoughts on that? I mean, I knew as soon as it happened, I thought, oh, I know where this relates to. So, but it's not just that. We've seen it so many times. It becomes as soon as it happens, social media erupts with everybody saying the rule says this, the rule says that. But now you've got a diagram and a clear and straight explanation of the rule.
Yeah, I mean, it will be tested, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one to the referees, to be honest. That's not ideal. So, not my forte. But yeah, I guess like all new rules, they get tested, and it will either stay, or in 2 years' time it will be tweaked, or it will revert, or we've seen it. Do I think it's a good rule? Yeah, but I'll leave it to the referees.
I just thought the change of it with how they've changed the wording of it was more of a common sense rule to me. It just takes away that. For me, it took away sort of the dispute of where entering and back on was when you get pushed to the infield. So and I think that's the great thing that is highlighted for me out of that remit meeting, is that's what these remits do. It makes it better, doesn't it? Everything becomes better. And if there is one that's put through that is a stupid remit, and you might call it stupid or not, I don't know, but it doesn't go through because everybody knows. So there's a few that didn't even get a start or a second or anything, and it's like bang, done. And I think that just speaks highly of the brain's trust in the room of the coalition of all speedway tracks. Says, well, that's just ridiculous, And and so I think that rule just really showed how to smarten it up with just changing of words and a little bit of I only needed a tweak. It didn't need to be completely rewritten, just a tweak, and it came out. In my opinion, that's just my personal opinion, I think it came out bang on.
It's like Zoe said, they're going to test this upcoming season.
Oh.
But you said
always tested.
You said a point. And but what we say here, and it's those two words, common sense. Unfortunately, in that kind of situation, sometimes common sense doesn't prevail. I would guess the right thing to do, if you get pushed on the infield, just do a roundabout circle, saves less stress for the referees. Just do what you need to know you got to do. Get back on the track behind the car or something. Then carry on. You don't want to
see, that's the thing as well, you see, because that's where you say just do the loop like you're supposed to, but it was never said you had to do a loop. It was you had to come in behind the car that put you there. There was never ever a written rule about you had to do a loop. That is my opinion of it. I thought of it, and this is where everyone gets into this social media arguing and abuse, you might say it turns into, because everyone says he should have looped. He's supposed to loop. Well, he doesn't have to loop. He has to come back. But the reason the loop is there is because you had to come back at a certain point where you went off. Where now you're eliminating that idea that says you have to loop because you can come back in behind if it's still on the same straight. So it just cleared it up, I think. But we will see what happens this season, because someone won't understand the change and you can't protest, but they'll make an inquiry. And it'll be interesting, but I think the common sense will prevail on that one. So I'm feeling confident. There you go. Look at that.
Well,
famous last words.
There'll be thousands of referees sitting in the seats. They'll all know the right answer. Trust me.
Everyone will be sitting in the comments on that booker. He talks shit. Tell him to shut up.
Yeah. You know, we've been there, mate. We've heard heaps of referees around us.
Yeah, you hear them when we're sitting in the stands around us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny. Yeah, it's good.
It'll be tested. What's your next one? 30 seconds.
So we've got one more to go. I was just going to go through before we let these lovely ladies go. It's getting on 8 o'clock. Was remit number 72. There was a lot of remits, by the way, people. There was, but this one.
It was light this year. We were light on remits for sure.
Really?
Really?
We're about 30 remits light this year. Yeah.
Yep.
Holy snapping!
Did you just say 30 remits light? 30.
Yeah.
So we would have been there till 9 o'clock at night.
That's why we always reserve the right to come back in the evening.
My favourite part
in the order.
Yeah, well, my favourite part actually was watching Peter Rees have to sit there and shut up. He couldn't say anything about any of the remits. I could see him like struggling. I give him a bit of stick about that. I thought that was quite funny. But this one that is it's another change in the rule, where it was the rule was the primary cause of a red light is removed off. But how many times do we see it where just as the red light comes on, the car gets started?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, too late though, the lights come on for you. So this has come in. A vehicle that is the primary cause of the stoppage will be given 30 seconds to move under its own power. The 30 seconds will commence once all cars have stopped. So once everyone's come to a stop under the red light, the instruction will be relayed to the driver via the driver radio. So that's even better. So it doesn't mean anyone has to rush out there. Although it's interesting, that part of it. I won't get into that because that causes another big thing. If the vehicle fails to move, then he's off within 30 seconds. But I think that's great because we see it so often, don't we? And that there is another, in my opinion, a common sense rule. It's adjusted the rule of common sense. Say, you know, this guy, he gets spun backwards. Our high performance vehicles, they do stall because, you know, he gets spun out or whatever. And there's a lot happening inside the cars. I mean, I couldn't do it. And they go, boom, 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 and it finally fires up. And the Reds have just come on as it starts, and they're in the infield. And it's. I feel for the drivers, and they must feel frustrated. So I was quite pleased to see it go through. There was a bit of discussion on that one, wasn't it? By how to determine who determines the 2 seconds, blah blah blah. But that was all worked through as well, with everybody having their opinion. Say, well, this, and that. So it really is probably just. I think it was the head referee of the night, I suppose, makes the decision.
Yeah.
On that 30 seconds. So, I mean, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
That was interestingly, that was a local rule that was implemented at Huntly Speedway, and it would have been maybe 5 years ago. So it's kind of been in operation, and a few other tracks have trialled it as well. It actually must have gone to there was a rule-making AGM it went to maybe 2 cycles ago, and it missed. I don't know if it went to the one when I wasn't here, but it's amazing how these kind of things that it didn't quite get, didn't get across the line that first time, but obviously back in the room this time and maybe a different reflective view on it, or people have seen it in operation or can understand now the merit behind it, and it sailed through. So yeah, it's a good remit, and it takes a lot of pressure off those referees that have got to make that call, and that's probably the worst call because you don't want to not make the right call there. So,
Well, I think also how you said it takes the pressure off the referee. The other aspect, I suppose, you look, it takes the pressure off the referee thinking, do I put the light on? Do I not put the light on? You know, because and that becomes a safety issue. You know.
There is a safety.
And so that takes away that. It goes, okay, we could chuck it on now because you've still got that 30 seconds to try and get going. You know what I mean? Like you've got that opportunity. So you're not waiting. And in that waiting process, someone could come around the corner, clean up the poor parked car, and you've got a safety issue. So I think that rule really just protects so much across the board.
Yeah, kudos to Huntly for kind of, for implementing that under a local rule provision and running that, because, it's now going to reflect, safety across the country. So I think that's kudos to them for that, because it takes a lot to kind of, I remember being involved in the kind of the draft writing of that local rule, and there was good, really good rationale behind it in the first place. And you'll see the fact that it's gone through this time as a remit, it stands on its own now. So yeah, good on them.
Absolutely.
Why not? And the red light rule will be a positive game changer.
Yeah,
so there you
I
go.
think so. I think that
Exactly.
will be too. Yeah, I think everybody will be happy with that. I mean, I just think I just love it when it's common sense that prevails, and when you look at the broader picture of what some of these remits we talked about tonight are implementing is absolutely positive and fantastic for the whole entire sport, and that's what it's the aim of those meetings are for, aren't they?
Yeah, look, no referee wants to ruin someone's night because A, they've gone red too early, or B, they've gone red too late, and so it really does a great job for the volunteers in the sport as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Any more remits there, Mr.
No,
Booker?
that's all. I mean, you could go on all night about these bloody things, but I just thought it would be nice to give the people out there watching a bit of an idea. First of the processes, I'll just quickly run through the processes for people that don't understand how it actually works. So, someone puts a remit in. Those remits go around the country before the AGM to all the clubs, for the clubs to have their own remit meetings to talk about it and talk to their drivers about them, and then they go to an AGM, which is what we all went to. And then the remit gets, as this time Lani was up front, said we got remit number 24. Do we have a motion? I think, is that what you said, a motion for it?
Mover.
Sorry. Which means, is there someone going to move this into the process? And if someone goes yes, then they go for a seconder. And then if they go to a seconder, then the remit is on the floor to be talked about. And then what can happen is a club might have talked about it, the remit, and thought, well, we don't think that's worded right. It needs to have an amendment to it. So then they say, yep, we want to put an amendment forward. And the ladies at the front will say, yep, bring us your amendment. It's all done properly on a form that then goes up to the front, and then the remit gets put up, and it's on a big screen for everyone to see, even me being as blind as a bat. And then we vote on that amendment to the remit. And if that doesn't go through, then that amendment doesn't go through. But if it goes through, that becomes part of the remit. And then now you're voting on the new remit with the amendment. And the interesting thing for me is you had people stand up to put an amendment into a remit, and they fought for it and put, this is why, and it needs to be this, and blah, blah, blah. They get it voted on, and then you go to vote on the remit, and they're voting against the remit. And I'm like, what the bloody? You just fought to put an amendment in the remit. So in the Smoko...
In their defense, Booker, sometimes that means that there's way more discussion about the remit. So that's sometimes kind of the method behind the madness.
Yeah, well, I asked a couple of them that did it.
Oh, no.
Because
that's not what they said, eh?
I went up to them in the Smoko, or morning tea, or whatever you want to call it. I'm Smoko, old school. And I said, listen, you just stood up there and you went hard out to get that bloody amendment in that remit. They go, yeah. I said, and then you voted against it. I said, what the bloody hell? What's the point of that? And they said, if we think it may go through the remit, but we're not happy with how it might go through, we'll put an amendment in there, so then we're happy, but we'll still vote against it because we don't really want it in there. And I thought, well, that's an interesting process. I mean, it's you're covering yourself on all bases, and that showed me that you just can't send the average Joe to these AGMs. You've got to have a driver's delegate that is quite smart and can think on their feet quickly, as well as your promoter, because it all happens very quick. I thought, oh, this is going to go through now. Next minute, hey, I said to Kinser and Stewart, I said, what the bloody, they just put all that through, and so for those that's how it works anyway, people. So yeah, and if it doesn't get a mover at the start of it, then the remit gets squashed straight away. It doesn't go any further. So for those that want to know, there you go. That's how it's done, and that's done on, we had 100 or something remits to go through, and I feel that the whole process worked absolutely fantastic.
Perfect.
That's that. I'm done now. Oh, I'm out. See ya.
I've just had like 6-7 hours what you just went through then. Oh my God. I was in the council meeting all bloody day and I was sitting there listening to you do it all again. Oh, hell. Anyway, on a brighter note, we got to celebrate all together and celebrate achievements. Lani, just from you, firstly, what an amazing night in recognition of all of those, were the recipients, the finalists, just an unreal night, surreal for us too as well for what we won, but to everyone that was part of the night. That was a huge night, but a brilliant night. Oops, she's gone. Zoe, so I'll give you the word now. So Lani's dropped out somehow.
I've lost her. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So just summarize the awards night. It was just an amazing night.
Yeah, it's so good to see kind of everybody come together and celebrate the sport, and it's a really special event. It's kind of the grandstand of the year. So good. Obviously, the national champions get up on stage at the beginning. Obviously, our new life members got up on stage, so that was really cool. And then obviously everybody kind of going through the procedural part. Everyone the awards are given out and stuff like that. And so good to see so many tracks recognised and so many competitors recognised, and also volunteers. Like that's what it's about. Yeah, so good to see that. Yeah, it was a really good night.
That was a brilliant night. All right, and we do it all again down in Christchurch. But you won't be there, most probably.
Yeah. No, you are going to Christchurch. So yeah.
We're going to Christchurch, are we, Books? Are we going to Christchurch, mate?
Yeah, I don't know yet. That's a long way away. I think it's an election year next year too, I think so.
Yes, election year next year, so not a rulemaking one, unless there's an SGM for whatever reason or for whatever purpose. But so it will be in Christchurch next year. We're just the board look at venues and options for that, so we can get those dates confirmed. So hopefully you have that confirmed within the next couple of weeks, so people can start looking at their accommodation and stuff. So locked and loaded. He'll move pretty fast on that. There's quite a lot that happens in the off season with the office. We've just gone out for track licensing, so the guys Jason and Monique in there have been working really hard. There's the post kind of AGM stuff, there's the minutes, Shara did her part, Jason did his part, and there's getting those rule changes out in a publishable document and into the rule book and doing all those amendments, and then it's literally now we are into track licensing and she's full speed on. So all the technical devices come back for recalibration. Everything is just this constant cycle. So
you know what, so you're gonna miss it, aren't you?
No. I didn't miss it the first time, so I don't think I'm gonna miss it the second time. Just lots of moving parts. Tech committees are really busy. Tech advisory panel is really busy. Obviously, we're just pushing on for that saloon stuff. That's really important. So it's good, I think. Yeah, really good.
Well, good luck to whoever applies for your vacancy that's up at the moment. Holy hell. Hey, but, it's been a pleasure catching up with you, Zoe, on the show. If we don't catch up, I'm not too sure if we will eventually, but I do appreciate, Booker and I, you joining us to share your wealth of knowledge, even though you had that break came back in, and just to share that little bit there, it kind of tells and says what the job's all about. It just doesn't stop. It's just about 12 months of the year, isn't it? So it keeps you on your toes.
It's a full 12 months. There's like the lightest kind of part of the season for the GM is probably around November, so tracks are operational at that point, if you know what I mean. They're up and running, and that's just before you head straight into that championship season. But there's drug testing to schedule, there's the TAB schedule, there's the officials allocation, there's this next cycle now through to kind of October with all the officials training that's going to roll out for the season. So the head officials pull into that, which is really good. They take a bit of the weight on that, as does Jason. So it's a pretty insane time of year, but it doesn't really, as you know, because we've just come out of the AGM, and before the AGM was the pre-AGM, and and we were in the season, and even the week leading to the AGM, we were still doing kind of post-championship technical inspections and stuff. So there's no kind of foot off the gas moment, I guess.
Oh, look, just come back in for us to say goodbye.
Yeah.
But we are going to have to move on because we've got Stewart and Wayne Russ waiting in the background there. So it's been fantastic talking to you both again tonight, and good luck if we don't hear from you again, Zoe, in your future once the GM is replaced. We hope you still go to Speedway at some stage and watch some racing. And thank you for everything you've done in the meantime for Speedway New Zealand and all of us in general that enjoy the sport. So thank you, and thank you, Lani, for joining us tonight as well and jumping back just to say goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks for having us again.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I suppose we should just quickly get straight in and bring over Mr. Stewart Coutts from Eastern State Speedway, Blenheim. One of my favourite tracks now since going down the South Island for the Rees Tour. I really enjoyed my first stop there at your track, mate. How are you, Stewart?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
How's Wendy, Stewart? Be honest.
She's good. We both came back from Auckland and got the stinking bloody flu, and
Shit.
we've only just both sort of got over it. So yeah, but no, she's good.
Okay, just do a summary of the season that has been for Eastern States. As Booker said, he enjoyed it down there as part of the Rees. Overall, just a great another season, I would guess, and thank all the volunteers and everyone that makes the track work.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome season for us actually. Probably one of the better ones we've had for a long, long time. You say about the volunteers, well, yeah, no track can run without them, and we've got a fantastic, absolutely brilliant group of volunteers, and they just turn up week in, week in out, and they're smiling. Now, this is the stewards, the referees, the scrutineers, your volunteers, all of the people that turn up to make a track run, and they just turn up and enjoy themselves. And I feel really privileged to have the group of people that we've got at the moment, because they are really putting our track on the map. They work their butts off for the Rees Tour. Because we had 170 something cars there, and we haven't seen that there for a long, long time. And everyone just played their role, did their thing. The night went well, and everybody enjoyed themselves. So that was basically our season, every night, pretty much.
And that how did your club find that you would have had a meeting afterwards? What was the overall vibe of that night of the Rees Tour? Because man, we had an absolute ball. The old Woody Tavern around the corner from you guys. What an awesome place, and owners there, fantastic. They looked after us. It was just outstanding. So, what was the overall club thought on everything after it all done and dusted?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I suppose the fact that we didn't have to organise cars and race and that sort of stuff, we just had to put a program together. Peter did a good job getting everybody there and doing all the right things.
Peter? Ha!
Yeah, sorry. But the racing was great. The crowd, the response from the public was really, really awesome.
Cool.
And yeah, I think it sort of put Eastern States on the map, or back on the map. As a club that we can do it.
Yes.
I sort of look at it that we're the biggest little club in the country. So
yeah, it really was a good night. Kins doesn't know what he missed, Stu.
No.
Hey, yeah.
No.
Hey, see.
Oh, wow. Hey, there's always a next time, always another time. And we'll get into the upcoming season 25-26. The opening night's on the 18th. But you have your Saloon Series. You've got the Remembrance Champs. You've got your Street Stock Tri Series. You got a fair bit going on. Go through to next year. You got the War of the Wings, Easter Chance Modified, North versus South. You got another full-on calendar.
Yeah, a couple of Grand Prix in there as well.
Yeah.
Street stocks and stock cars, which we're really, really looking forward to. But yes, it is a big calendar. And one of the things that's happened for us has been people are asking to come to race.
Cool.
So I think that is a real tribute to the guys, particularly preparing the track. for week in, week out. They prepared a track that was just awesome. And I don't think it'll be the first year ever that I haven't heard one complaint. Oh, yeah, I did. I got one. The track was a wee bit wet down the back straight for a saloon or something. But other than that, it was, those guys put together an absolutely brilliant track and worked really hard at it. Our grader driver is just, all he talks at the moment is clay. So I'm not gonna knock him on the head for that.
No. But, the excitement times, and like you said right at the start there, Stu, there's the numerous amounts of not only your track, but up and down all the tracks, the volunteers, people that come out to help. I know a lot of them there from the crack of dawn to the bloody, some of them there late last night or early Sunday morning sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I know on a race day, we get a 30-odd degree day here. You'll be here at 6. You'll be out there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And watering the track and making sure that the heat and the wind, because we get plagued by both, don't suck that water out. But to do that, there's a lot of water has to go on the track, but in small doses. But it's got to be done all day long. And the guys do, as I said, they're just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Volunteers, club committees, there's all sorts of type of stuff as well. There's a well-oiled machine behind the scenes. You got class representatives. There's just a list of people that you can thank, and everyone that supports the track. And I'm guessing, look, mate, it's 80 days, as I think Wayne Naughton said right at the start, counting down to when the racing gets underway. But you guys on the 18th of October. Any last words, Stu, before we want to wrap it up?
Well, I'm going to say one thing.
Okay.
And Wayne probably is going to hit me for this, but this year's the first year for, I can't remember, ever since I started here in Blenheim in the early 80s, our opening night was always Labour Weekend, Saturday of Labour Weekend.
Yes.
And this year there isn't a race meeting in the top half of the South Island on Labour Weekend for the first time in I don't know how long.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, pretty amazing. But, but we've both got big seasons. Like we worked with them on a few things, and it's going to be good for the top half of the South Island. That's real.
I actually like the fact as well that you and Wayne work together with your calendars, and I think it's so good how you do that, because you're so close, you're not really that far away from each other, and working together just makes both tracks more profitable, doesn't it?
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
Mm. It's like that word you said earlier when we had Lani and Zoe on. Common sense. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, if you're in Blenheim, get your backside trackside there, because man, there was some good I enjoyed my night there. It was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed the whole 2 days there, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd like to. With that book, I would like to get a shout out to the Woody, because we told them there was only like about 30 or 40 people turning up. You arrived with several hundred, and I believe they did a really, really good job keeping the meals and that going for running that bus. I think they ran it for 4 hours or 4.5 hours or something.
Well, the trips, they did 2 or 3 trips picking people up, and that was 2 vans going just flat out. It was
yes. No,
and they were in the hospitality. Look, I mean, what a way to start a South Island tour, where the hospitality started like it did, and it was like that right through the whole South Island. And that was the eye opener for me, was how, mate, it was just incredible, and it just really was. And copious amounts of alcohol was consumed, and I mean, we had no trouble, no problems. It was just a great thing. And then we went over to Nelson from you, and it didn't slow down. That's for bloody sure. Just incredible. But I'm glad that the tour was good for you guys, and I'm glad that you enjoyed our company, and I'm forever grateful for the hospitality that your whole club put on, and all the people there were so helpful for everything that I needed. It was not a problem, and you got no idea how much I appreciate that, because man, I was working a lot on that tour to try and make things out. I was trying to make it easy for all the clubs, and you guys ended up making it easy for me, and I just can't thank enough for that. It's just awesome.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
So get your backside trackside, people. Go down to the Woody, have a pint or two, then head out to the track, and have a hot dog and chips and ice cream. They got ice creams there. So just support the club. You've got to support these clubs.
Yeah, well, they know about the 2 championships we've got coming up, so they're preparing for that already. So
awesome.
It's going to be big. The stock cars and street stocks. Cheers, Stewie. Thanks for hanging in there and hanging around since jumping on about an hour ago. I know technology is not your forte, mate, but you've done well. You hung in there and joined us. So thanks for sitting in there. You can have a good laugh now. I'll let you go and look after Wendy, but we'll catch up soon, eh, mate?
that's awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great
Stu.
evening.
Have a great season. See ya.
Bye.
Right, I can't see Wayne's camera working there, so if he's there, he needs to turn his camera on or...
Oh, he's got...
there he is. There he is. There he is. Oh, it's dark now over there. He's been waiting so long in bloody Australia.
G'day, mate. How are you?
All good. Yeah, no. Been waiting here for you guys to come on stream, but that's good.
That's cool, Les. Look, obviously, there's a fair bit going on back home. You're over there catching up with family and whatnot. But just thinking of those back at the top of the South Island, you know, the last thing you want to hear is a weather watch and everything coming on through. Just thinking of them at the moment.
Yeah, no, had a fair share of rain. Apparently, another lot went through yesterday, but the tracks, it's been well under it. But I do feel for those people in the Mott Valley and Dovedale and so forth that have been hammered. But I'm sure they're in the right hands.
So the track's been handling the weather okay? It's not any damage or anything like that?
No, it's been fine. It's mostly been sort of over in the Mott Valley and Kaiteri Way, sort of west of Nelson, really. So the track's been fine actually this time around. Yeah.
Well, when we were there on the tour, there was a family there that picked me up and let me use their wash machine and gave me a shower at their house, and they were on the tour and they showed a video of their house underwater where they were. So I couldn't believe it. We were driving through there and it was just completely underwater, and the last lot of rain you had. So I hope their young mini stock girl's car didn't get too waterlogged. But I hope they have survived and done well as well. So I wish anyone that was in the part there, I know what it's like. I had it hit me in Hawke's Bay, so my thoughts with anybody that was put underwater there, and we hope to see you. I should be back down your way for the New Zealand street stocks, so looking forward to that. But how was your pre-season there, Wayne? Last season?
Last year we had a real dry winter, so it was quite handy getting the new lights and that put in the seating. But this year it's been a bit difficult getting the job list underway. We've done a pit expansion. We've expanded our pits to the south. Got a couple of volunteers down there that have worked pretty hard in between the weather to get that all stripped off and gravel. So that's going to be pretty cool. We can now cater for in excess of probably 160 cars, which for these titles like the street stocks and so forth, you just need that area now.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get a fair big number of street stocks there. Just bounce back to last season, the New Zealand Super Stocks, obviously, to get a local guy that's been a 1NZ previously or Harwood to get in the podium, mate. That was one of the highlights of the season, I would guess.
Oh, that was awesome. And especially, as follow up to that is Morgan doing that the video and then getting recognised for it at the awards. That was just the icing on the cake. No expectations from Shane going into it, but he pulled a rabbit out of the hat and got on the podium. It was just awesome. Yeah.
I just reminded Kinser it was a Stratford family that looked after me and then were underwater. I saw them put a video up of something they're underwater. So I hope they're all recovered. But But I don't think the New Zealand's was the highlight, Kinser. I think it was us being there with the Rees tour that you didn't turn up for, to be honest.
It's a bloody good track, eh? I really enjoyed the time we were down there at Nelson, and I'll be back down there. It was really, really cool, actually, to be honest. And again, Wayne, thanks for allowing us to come in there to cover off the build-up to that as well. I think it was might have been the Wednesday or the Tuesday when I ride, but it was really cool. Liz, other highlights for the season, though, in your mind?
Oh, the Rees tour definitely was a highlight. Yeah. It was, bit of baptism of the fire, if you like. We weren't sure how many vehicles were going to turn up, and then I went over, actually raced them on the Friday night, and just went over to have a bit of a look and a sniff out to see, what we were going to expect the following night. And it was actually, I was glad we did, and we just made it work. That's just what you do, isn't it? We twisted Pete's arm into having a 2-day event at our track, and I think it paid off. The hospitality that Eastern States put on, we had to try and do one better. But I think that the feedback we got, all the tracks did very well to host that tour and make you guys feel welcome.
Oh,
Awesome.
look, it was fantastic. Even we had our big communal dinner there on the third day. We were there in the club. You guys let us use your club rooms and barbecues, and everybody who was on the tour had a big feed, and it was just, the hospitality was fantastic, and the racing was fantastic too. And the crowd, when I did the auction, they were awesome as well, and it was a bloody local that won the auction as well. So that was cool. It was not someone on the tour for a change.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's like, it's a very family orientated club, and like we've got 30 plus mini stocks registered this year. I mean, the youth of the club is the future of the club. So that's the focal point of our club is being family orientated.
Yeah, it was very, very good club. So have you guys done? You haven't really had much to do in the off season extra, just that one bit you do in the pits. Is that all you're doing around the track, or?
Oh no, I suppose last year we did a fair bit, but we still had an agenda of stuff to do. So we're putting new pit lighting in. So of course we put the new track lights out there, and the pit lights looks like candles now. So we've got some lights the same as what we've got on the track going into the pits. We've got a new gatehouse. We're getting the new main public gate upgraded. We've bought a new grader for the track. Retired the old girl. It's done a great service to the club for the last 30 odd years. So we thought, let's get a new grader. We've got just a few various other things. New weighbridge going in there for the street stock New Zealand title. So that's quite exciting as well. So there's always something to do.
All right, mate. Let's talk about the upcoming season. Obviously, opening the 11th, you got your fireworks, which is always huge. That's racing for the kids. South Island Saloon Series, the Super Stock Street Stock Tri Series. You got the big NZs early in January. Then you got the Stampede back down there in March, and then the TQ Champs towards the end. Then Easter. Another exciting calendar ahead.
Yeah. So you probably won't see this happen again with the new rotation criteria, but we've actually ended up with 1 New Zealand title and 3 South Island titles.
Wow.
So, the way they've structured it now is the tier 1 and 2, 3 titles. You won't see that again. So, we've got the 3 South Island titles at the Super Stocks first up on December 6th.
Yep.
And then we've got the midgets, which is on February 14th. Our track is magic for midgets. We had a New Zealand title here a few years ago, and it's an awesome track for them. And then also South Island TQs, that's March 21st. So the three South Island titles, and of course that 2-day event, the street stocks, that's held at the same date as we had the super stocks last year, which is the 9th and 10th of January, which is good. We it's a good time of the year. There's a lot of holiday makers around and that, and good time to have it.
Super Saloon, Super Cup, and amongst all of that that's going to be a meet. I know you're looking at heading down to their books and being part of that maybe on the 9th and 10th as well, eh? Mate, get you up in their commentary box for the commentator books.
Well, yeah, I think I'm supposed to be doing the pit interviews for the Streeties with Jason at the Pits Media, because he's going to be there covering the New Zealand Street Stocks. So that should be a good and fun meeting for us, to be honest. I'm actually looking forward to that one, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed myself at Nelson. I don't know, I think I just enjoyed myself at every South Island track, to be fair. It was just so much fun, and I expect it'll be just as much fun come the New Zealand Street Stocks there. Another great meeting. It's good to hear you guys have got so many good meetings this season. And I expect, look at the banking and how that track runs, I would think the TQs do look pretty awesome there. I watched some mean TQ racing at Miami this last season. I can only imagine what they'd be like on that track of yours, Wayne. They must really be low lap times. Are they pretty quick?
Yeah, everything happens in a hurry on our track, as you've seen.
Yeah.
No, it takes a lot of skill there. The midgets and the TQs, those open wheelers and the sprint cars, they're scary to watch on our track. They really they sort of blend all those turns into one almost. So
well, I'd like to see the sprint cars on there.
Oh,
That'd be something I'd love to see there. Holy snap and duck shit, that'd be out the gate good. Yeah.
that would be scary, to be honest. Shit.
Oh, that'll be in the calendar. If there's ever a bloody big sprint car meeting in Nelson, I'm going now. Now that you've said that to me.
That would be just unreal. Hey, obviously, there's yourself, Wayne, and your committee, your amazing committee, but all the volunteers that turn up when they turn up early airs, maybe some of the last to leave as well. You can't do without them. I see Milestones back on board with the track as well. You got sponsors, but, you cannot do without everyone that makes this all work.
Oh, yeah, we've got a great committee. Pretty much the framework has been the same for the last 4 or 5 years, which is cool. Volunteers, as Stu said, you can't run a track without them. We've got a real good basis of volunteers there, but always looking out for new ones. It's a thankless job, and those people work hard. They're there pretty much from early afternoon to the last thing at night, and like I said, the place that doesn't run without them.
Definitely. Hey, Loz, mate, how you going? We're all good. Wayne's from Nelson, I guess, correct? Joined us over there in the beautiful Australia. I knew this would come up, mate. Any news on the Nelson Tigers for the fans? Just got to be patient and wait, eh?
Yeah, there's some exciting stuff happening in the background. There's a few new cars getting built this year. There's a scheduled Thunder race, so that's cool too. So those junior drivers coming up through there could be future Tigers drivers. I guess we just need more depth here in Nelson. We've got probably 4 drivers that are keen, 4 to 5. But we need a bit more depth. So it's something we're building on.
Awesome, mate. Any last words though before we let you get back? Now it's got a bit darker in Oz.
Not really. It's quite interesting over here. There's a few new speedways popping up. There's one out at where was it? Beachmere. Apparently they're building a new speedway out there. So quite exciting. I've heard a few tracks getting closed down over this way, but there is actually a brand new international track getting built out at Beachmere. So I've got some friends that only live just up the road from there. So quite cool to see that something going on over here that's could attract sort of drivers from New Zealand. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, here on the Grapevine too, they've got a few super stocks over there now. And for you fans watching the show, they'll be invited to the Palmy 10th February. Just starting that rumour off. No, I'm just joking, mate. Just joking. Don't bloody believe me. I'll put it on Facebook, then you can believe it on Facebook. There you go. Just joking. No, Simon. We just discussed that one, mate. Just trying to spark another rumour up. Anyway, Wayne, mate, we appreciate you taking our time from your family time over there in Oz. Safe travels around the area, and books will catch up with you down in Nelson, no doubt, with the street stocks. But otherwise, appreciate catching up, having a bit of dinner together at the AGM or at the motel, I should say. And good to catch up again. And thanks once again for joining us. Good luck for the upcoming season.
Okay, thanks again, guys, and all the best. Look forward to hosting you in Nelson.
Thanks, Wayne. Cheers, mate.
Okay.
Enjoy your break.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Thank you. Wayne Russ and Stewart Coutts are both in their roles as presidents for Eastern States Blenheim, and Wayne there, of course, from Milestone Homes, Nelson Speedway as well. We'll continue on our little journey throughout the South. Earlier on from SNZ, outgoing GM Zoe joined us, Zoe Irons, and also Ali Thompson, the prez of the place, to give a bit of insight on the AGM, the remits, and making sure you jump on the speedway.co.nz website. You can find out some more information around the saloon survey, win a free license, but you can download the app and everything there as well. Hopefully they clarified the rotational side of things. And again, thank you to each and one of you that have joined the show, Books.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was another long night. We went over a bit tonight, but it happens. What do people think behind me? You like the drawings of Madu Goodley's bloody drawings there that he's done of excuse me, that's
Tama?
himself, Tama.
Yeah.
And the sprint car.
Is that Alan Wakeling?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Waco.
he's just done an amazing job. We've got some, and got the stock car one over there. I can't show you because the camera's not on anymore, but got a couple more coming too that he's doing. He's going to put up in our studio here. But yeah, they're really cool. But yeah, we might have this big one that's got Asher as 1NZ and Pete's first 1NZ you saw behind me a couple of weeks ago. I put a frame around that. We might be selling that, getting Pete and Asher to sign that and sell it on behalf of Maru. So we might put that up to give him some money for his Speedway season as well. So I reckon that'd be at least a $500 painting. It's about 1.20 m wide or 1.40 m wide by about 1 metre high. 2 big cars drawn on it in a black frame. I can put a picture up later of how I've done the frame. It looks just similar to this, the frames. I've done these nice black frames for them. So yeah, look, keep an eye out for that. That might come up too once I get that all signed by Pete and Asher. I've already spoken to Pete about it. He said he'll do that, no problem. So yeah, but very talented mankins, very talented man.
Hard out he is. Great talent, great family of Speedway, like many others out there as well. Otherwise, everyone be safe. It's wrapping up tomorrow, the last day of the 7th month of 25, the 1st of August. That means that will be 78 more days to go until Speedway season starts. Thanks again to each and one of you for watching the show tonight. Take care. Enjoy yourself over the next few days. Once again, thanks to Technical Welding Services, TWS, also Vasey Engineering and Supplies Limited. Without their generosity and support, for supporting our show. Once again, thanks to you for supporting the comments and watching. Back again next Wednesday, 7:30.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny.